Let's get into it. This is a very odd episode.
Yep.
Jewish people are digging tunnels in New York. And I know these I know these Jewish people.
Yes.
Lubavitchers, Chabad community. I grew up in the Chabad community. Wow. Crown Heights, Brooklyn, they're digging tunnels. And let's just get right into it, I guess. And then there's somebody named Richard Stroker, and he's I don't understand. I don't understand. What information do you have for us?
We got a little bit about him and what people think is going on with the tunnels.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, we have more information than Jamie was able to provide
way more.
On the episode. And then,
probably because they did it a couple days ago.
Yeah, and then we're going to dive into somebody named Richard Stroker. And I'm telling you, watch till the end. This is a trip. This makes no sense to me.
Wild.
Don't forget about IamCoachColin.com. This is the newest design, sold not for sale. We also have George Orwell was right, and we newly have 1984. Discount code is IamCoachColin, all capital letters, all one word, one L in the name Colin. Let's get into this clip.
The tunnel they were making under. Well, I'm reading about that. I don't even know what it means. Why would they hire people to dig a hole?
I don't know exactly what's happening. All I know is very short clips that I found on the internet. But the funniest thing is this one guy on Twitter that was saying a while back, I live on a ground floor apartment and I hear Jews underneath me. And everybody's like, you're out of your fucking mind.
Yeah, that's anti-Semitic.
Exactly. And now he's like, I told you I wasn't crazy. But this guy's just...
But what are they doing? Like, I heard that they hired people to build like this tunnel, and they were hanging out, and like the people would live there for like 3 weeks. These like migrant workers were just digging this tunnel, and they stayed there for 3 weeks. But what's the purpose of it?
I have no idea. I don't know anything. I just know that there's tunnels, and that there's this one video of this guy coming out of the sewer. So he lifts a manhole cover, comes out of the sewer, and then he's fucking wandering around, this Hasidic Jewish guy, and everybody's like, what the fuck are you doing down there?
Yeah, that's really bizarre. They wouldn't come out, too. The cops had to get them out. Like, they were like, we don't want to come out, and they were like charged with disorderly conduct. I don't know. The whole fucking world is just weird.
What do you know about this, Jamie? Anything?
I haven't heard anything.
Yeah.
The best I've gotten is that they started making them during COVID, but that line, it makes sense, but it also, when you see the tunnels, you're like, no way, that's not... You didn't do that in 2 years or a year, 6 months, whatever it was.
They weren't exactly nice tunnels either. They were just kind of shitty, rudimentary, basic holes.
Right,
like, were they doomsdayers? Is that what they thought the world was going to end?
Wait a minute, the tunnels are so big that you don't think they could make them in 2 years? Is that what you're saying?
Some of them look big. It's
really?
Like, how do you? I mean, some of them are saying they're going to multiple different buildings. It's like a series of tunnels. It's not just a tunnel.
Let's look into this.
They're still looking into it. I don't know. Like,
when did it discover it? Was it yesterday?
It's only been discovered a couple years ago. I forget how.
A couple years ago?
Days ago. I forget even how they discovered it. I think they were looking.
It's probably that guy complaining. He probably heard something, and then maybe they saw somebody come on the manhole cover, and somebody put 2 and 2 together.
I have no idea what happened.
Yeah, it's strange.
But it's very bizarre. And then, of course, there's conspiracy theories, and what are they doing down there, and evil theories.
They immediately want to pour concrete in it, which makes sense because it's probably not safe. It's not supporting the weight of the of all the buildings above it.
Yeah, you don't think of that when you move into an apartment building that some asshole might build a tunnel underneath and collapse the building on you.
Imagine if you're on the ground floor and you're like, why does my floor have so much?
Yeah. These assholes are building a sinkhole under my house. Yeah, I don't, but it's funny how, like, things are so crazy. Like, you read about something like that, and it doesn't even stand out that much. Like, we talk about it now, and then tomorrow will be some other weird shit.
Right.
Like, every day it's something weird. It's something crazy.
Yeah. It's way more than ever before.
Yeah.
What do you got, Jamie?
So here's what the New York News is saying. Like, it happened on Monday afternoon, I guess, so it's very new.
Something about tunneling.
Yeah.
Which is so crazy.
Yeah,
like,
that's such a commitment.
Yeah.
Right,
Isn't it interesting, like, if you build on top of a building, it's no big deal. But you go under the building, like, what are you doing?
Yeah, you're really destabilizing.
You're in a tunnel. For several hours, police pleaded with the young men to leave the entrance to the tunnel, according to the witnesses. After they refused, the officers covered the area with a wire curtain and entered the dusty crevasse with zip ties to detain the protesters. When they took the first person out with zip ties, that's when the outburst happened. Baruch Dahan, a 21-year-old study of the synagogue who videotaped the congregants fighting. Almost everyone was against what they did, but as soon as people saw the handcuffs, there was confusion and pushing. Footage posted to social media shows scores of onlookers, mostly young men, jeering at the NYPD's community affairs officers. Some lifted wooden desks into the air, sending prayer books scattering. In response, the officer appeared to deploy an irritating spray to disperse the group. So how did they find out about this?
I don't know, but even after hearing that, I still know nothing about what they were doing or why.
I think they're just starting to try to figure it out. So scroll down a little.
Well, it didn't have a good explanation on what the initial call was for it. I was going to switch to a different article.
And why are they being called protesters? Like, what were they protesting? If you're just sitting in a tunnel, is that actually a protest?
Everyone's a protester,
Yeah.
and everyone's an activist.
Yeah.
Officials and locals said young men in the community recently built the passage to the sanctuary in secret. When the group's leaders tried to seal it off on Monday, they staged a protest that turned violent as police moved in to make arrests.
How long does it take to make a tunnel?
I'm assuming a couple of years if it went that far.
It all depends entirely on what's down there already.
Were they putting dirt in their pockets like fucking Shawshank? That's what they said they were doing. They had like dirt in their pockets.
I saw that as a joke. I don't know if it was real.
Oh,
What
boy.
an asshole endeavor.
What a rough time for the Jews.
It is, yeah. This doesn't.
They're getting it from all angles.
They really are.
And then this on top of that.
And it's like the whole planet just hates each other. Everybody fucking hates each other.
It's weird, right?
It is. I don't even think it's about the issues. I don't think people are necessarily. People believe what they believe, but I think it's more the addiction to arguing and the addiction to being angry. Like no matter what the subject, people just hate each other. If someone gives the wrong answer, the people who think it's the wrong answer hate your guts.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on. I think there's a lot of like very heavy stress in the world, and people are relieving that stress through these sort of endeavors. You know, I don't think it's logical.
No, it's not logical, and it's almost like people don't want the answer that's going to make sense. They want the answer that's going to enable them to get angry.
Yeah.
Like it really is like when people try to go after somebody for jokes or whatever, it's self-serving. It's like if I hear what you say, it's either going to make me feel better about my position or it's going to get me high because I'm angry at you.
Yep.
But it's always self-serving. It's just the whole thing is insincere.
Well, it's all very exaggerated by social media. Social media has made everybody way more insane. And it's not going to get any better. It's only going to get worse because of all this AI shit. It's very strange. It's a very, very strange time to be alive.
Did you see the AI? There is an AI, like they have these AI women on Instagram.
Yeah.
And like we were talking about it on the air and we were laughing about it. And even though I know it's AI, I'm like, I could still see myself jerking off to this. I know it's not real. I know it's fake. But if the attitude was right, I could still see myself being turned on by this AI. The hair fucks it up a little bit because it kind of looks solid. Like the hair sometimes moves as one unit, but the body and the face, I mean, it really looks like a real person.
Well, they're making money. They're making money off of OnlyFans. Like tens of $1,000s a week.
Isn't that awesome?
Amazing.
Isn't
Guys
that great?
Well, there's probably some fucking dude in Moldova or somewhere like that running it.
Yeah. It's always some guy overseas where you can't get it. You can't get it shut down. You can't get any answers.
Yeah, and then there's some fucking jerk off
In New York City, in the east side.
with his fucking tomato-stained wife beater on, sending money and whacking off, and then interacting with these people. If you're not tech savvy and you don't understand that this is probably a man on the other end, or not even a man, maybe a computer that's running an algorithm, and you think you're actually interacting with a woman, you can get completely hooked.
I've argued with bots before, and like I've actually that's like my big insult is like you're a fucking bot, and that's like all you can say when you know that you've been duped by a computer.
Yeah.
Whether it's customer service and you think you're talking to a real person, you're like, this is a fucking computer.
This is a real person, but
That's a real person?
Yeah, she made $57 million since COVID.
Oh my
on
God.
OnlyFans.
Whoa. Like, how would you, like, if you married that girl, how would you tell her to get a regular job?
I wouldn't.
You can't.
I'd be happy she did it. Yeah.
Breakdown of.
But if you were like a guy who wasn't into that, wow, that's insane.
Yeah, if you're a guy who marries her and you think you're going to rescue her and pull her out of there and she's making $57 million, you have to just accept that's her job.
Half of it's from the messages part, which that's what you were just sort of saying, like probably not her messaging.
Right.
$27 million worth of messages.
Whoa, wait a minute. 27 million in money has been sent by guys?
Well, that's
Just sending it her directly as a message. I love you.
10 million in just tips. That's on top of. That's just thank you for doing what I'm already paying you for.
How much is her monthly subscription?
We could look at her page.
Oh
but I
my
don't
God,
think
that's
it says right
incredible.
here.
What is she doing on there?
I mean, her main thing is she came over from like Twitch. She's a cosplayer, so she dresses up like all the, characters online. And
Yeah. That can be sexy.
She's very popular.
That can be a little sexy. Somebody
it's-
kind of dressed. You ever go to like Comic-Con once in a while? There's a lot of big fat fucks, but there's also a couple that are like, that's attractive. I like that.
I'm sure.
Little superhero.
Yeah, and then they're kind of weird and quirky, so they're more approachable.
Yeah.
You
They'd
know?
seem more approachable. Yeah. But then you
Yeah.
get like girls like this who are probably just as unapproachable as any other attractive woman I've ever tried to talk to.
Jim Norton, all out weirdo.
Who
that's
is he?
that's his superpower. He's a comedian, and he's just always been very weird, very open about his escapades. Very, very much doesn't seem like it. Very much in the LGBTQ community.
Really?
Yeah, very much in the mix of all that.
Interesting.
Yeah. Right now, his I think wife or fiance or just girlfriend is trans. So yeah, he's very, very in that community, and that's been like a long time, like way before you were hearing about anything. Like,
Really?
like 20 years he's been talking about doing stuff like that. Yeah, he loves it. He loves it. Absolutely loves it. If you ever listen to him on a podcast or his stand up, he just really goes in
Yeah.
on the weirdness. Yeah. So I just wanted to have a healthy clip, but we're going to springboard this conversation directly into the tunnels of Judaism.
Tunnels of Judaism. That's what we're calling it.
That's what I'll call it. It's very odd, and really quick. Just $57 million from OnlyFans is absolutely astounding.
It is insane. But you know what? As
That's
soon as I heard
astounding.
that, I was like, that's like the ultimate selling your soul.
Yeah, it is. It's literally millions of people just grabbing a piece of you.
Yeah,
constantly.
it's crazy.
It's
like you're selling that. That's a lot.
It's hard. It's hard to go through that. Like women that are going through that now are going to be the same as people in the adult industry, and how they come out of it and they're like, oh, I can't find a husband, and people don't take me seriously. But she did, honestly, at that point, she has nothing to worry about. She's gonna have.
Yeah.
She does this for 4 years. She has $250 million.
Yeah.
She's fine. She'll be like, whatever.
As I get older, though, like, even when I hear some women talk in a certain way, I'm like, oh, that's a vulgar lady.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't like it. It doesn't sound
it's
right.
And then you take it to the nth degree with this whole thing.
Yeah, it's just so much. Because as they said, 57 million, of course, in your head, you're going to be like, would I ever do that? And the answer is no, absolutely not.
No, I don't think I could.
Not even for that much money.
I don't think I could.
No.
No, it'd be too weird.
No.
It'd be a little too weird. And then you don't get proper love. You get a different kind of love. And you still get a good life because you're rich, right? So you have a substantially good life in that sense.
Materially,
yeah. But then the whole love part kind of, you don't get a proper thing. You get somebody who's like, well, you're rich, so I'm fine.
Yeah. Or somebody who's like okay with those morals and values.
Yeah, exactly.
Which might not have been what you wanted before you started doing that.
Yeah, exactly. So
anyway.
it's hard. It's hard. There's a few of those people that are like going through it now because they want to be like housewives and they want to just be regular wives and they're still in the public eye and the public eye won't let that go away.
Yeah.
So whatever. 57 million. Like, have fun, lady, whoever you are. But let's get into the tunnels.
Yeah,
I have a
so
theory.
crazy.
I have theories about these tunnels. Now that I've seen where the tunnels actually go, this is starting to make sense. I understand. I kind of understand. I grew up around these people, so I think I understand what happened.
Save that for me until we can see the map.
Okay.
Can I tell you what they say is going on?
Yeah, of course. Let's get into it and let me know what articles I need to pull up.
Okay, let me see if this is in an article because sometimes articles are very long-winded and I just like to summarize based on what I've read.
Yeah, of course.
So basically what they say happened is there was a rabbi for this synagogue who passed away in 1994. And part of the synagogue, part of the followers believed that he is the Messiah and he's still alive. And his work was that he wanted to reconnect the buildings of their synagogue so that they could expand and all be one. So that's kind of their thinking behind it. So the people who actually dug the tunnels were mostly there on like student visas. So they're international students for the most part. That's why like in the videos, it's all like really young men.
Yeah. It might be something that's, I'm not 100% sure. It might be something called yeshiva. Like a lot of my friends went to this thing, yeshiva.
Maybe.
And they had to go and be in these other places. It's all around the world. You'll end up in New York or you can end up in Israel and wherever you go. And they're almost like camps. It's like camping, but it's like a religious camp kind of thing.
Okay.
Like Ari Shafir, Joe Rogan's friend, he for sure did it because he lived in the kibbutz and stuff like that. And I've many friends that have done this as well.
Got it.
So maybe I'm not sure 100% though.
So what they're thinking is that these international, this international group, dug the tunnel for the Messiah.
Good for them.
Yeah, so that's what they think. And then the other members of the synagogue found out. So I guess they were trying to hide it. I don't know how you would hide that though.
It's a tunnel.
I guess, I don't know. But like it would be loud still, no?
Kind of. You could do it at night.
Yeah, and I guess it depends where it starts. Like it would have to be in the basement, whatever else.
Those places are open. Well, not open to the public, but they're open all night.
That's
like I grew up directly behind a synagogue.
Yeah.
It's all night. There's always people there.
Yeah.
Always. There's never nobody there.
Yeah.
So
the other members of the synagogue found out what they were doing and had a cement truck coming to fill the tunnel.
Yeah.
So then the people who built the tunnel were really upset about it. And that's when they started having an altercation.
And that's when the protests, like Jim Norton was asking, how are there protesters?
Yeah.
That's how they became protesters.
Yes.
Because they knew it was going to get sealed up. So
they went to go sit in it.
Yeah.
And that's when the police were called.
Yeah.
So the police walked in to this already kind of crazy altercation between these Jewish groups.
Yeah.
And they were just trying to break it up.
And they're all one group, which is the funny thing. They're all one
They
group.
are, yeah.
And for that rabbi, whoever that was in charge to call the police on other
That's
religious guys, you're not, I don't think you're supposed to do that.
No, but like at that point too, like,
yeah, he was
that's
like,
extremely risky, and they're
like,
going against his leadership too.
Yeah, that's true. He was like, I have enough of this. You guys are insane.
Yeah. Like that's too much. It's too much. So
Dug
that's
a
what they're
tunnel.
saying happened.
Okay. Yeah.
And then there's various other conspiracy theories that we can get into.
Well, I don't want to get like, well, some of them are a little too dark.
Yes,
to get
very
into.
dark. I'm sure like
But
if you do a basic Google search, you can see
yeah,
what the main one is.
Yeah, people are thinking it's linked to all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
But because of the mattresses, they're like, oh, why were there mattresses down there?
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you guys know why there was mattresses.
Okay, perfect.
I
know now?
I understand exactly what was going on here.
Great. Well, if you want to just scroll down the article and show these pictures.
Is this the one? Okay. Yeah. This is what Joe Rogan was talking about when he said a guy was coming out of a manhole.
Yeah.
So you didn't exactly have to push out a manhole cover or anything.
Yeah,
He
it
wasn't
was just like in the side of the building.
because he's kind of the way he was saying it, kind of like a Ninja Turtle or something.
Yeah,
so it wasn't
like
quite
popping
like
up
that.
in the middle of the street
Yeah,
underneath
yeah.
a taxi or something.
So it's like right by. It's all within their synagogue area,
Yeah,
but still incredibly weird.
very.
Can you imagine? You're just walking by. You're just like, Jewish guys, get out of that.
And there's just a Hasidic Jewish guy popping out.
Is there a tunnel? Did he just pop out of a tunnel? Oh man, yeah. Chabad Lubavitcher is one of New York's most prominent Hasidic Jewish groups, and its headquarters is located in Crown Heights in Brooklyn. Yep. Wild.
And then there's pictures of the kind of the altercation there.
I never thought we'd talk about this before. To see these words,
I know, right?
because you know I'm
grew up so close to it.
Well, yeah, like
It's weird.
I am from Crown Heights. It's weird. It's a
Yeah.
very weird thing to see in the news. They're talking about Chabad and all this stuff. I'm like,
Yeah.
wow. I'm like, this is interesting.
Yeah.
This is very interesting. And this is how they all got into it. They're pretty much getting into this whole thing. There's zip ties. The police
Yeah.
are coming in. These guys don't want. And also, shout out to these guys. You never let your own people get taken in by the police. And that's how these guys were feeling. That's why this really started. It
Yeah.
wasn't just like there was like miscommunications. They're like, you're not taking our buddies.
Yes.
Like you're putting them in zip ties. Like you're not doing that.
But at the same time, I don't know if the police would have taken them away had they not resisted and really pushed back.
No, of course not. If you just stepped out and said, okay, fine.
Yeah.
It would have been fine.
Exactly.
You know, but if
So
you're
it's
gonna,
kind of a catch-22.
yeah, exactly. And that is the tunnel.
Yeah.
And this is why Jamie was like, there's no way you just did this 6 months ago or 2 years ago.
But yeah, they said it took 6 months.
Because this is very intricate. But who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe-
But there's no like, normally when you build tunnels, you have to put up like bracing and everything to support the weight.
What do they call buttresses?
I think so.
Yeah.
So what they were doing is they like tunneled under here, and you can see like this picture is mostly like dirt walls and everything. So they would,
It's very dangerous.
of course.
Yeah.
So they would scoop through this part, and then when they reach another building, they would just cut a hole in the basement wall and keep going. So you were just going basement to basement underneath.
These guys are nuts. And that was their attempt to do what that rabbi wanted by connecting all the buildings.
Yes. And
That's
then
so
the next
silly.
picture down is that little.
The rabbi would have been like, I meant a real building. I
Yeah.
meant knock down walls. What are you talking about?
Not like crawling underneath. That's not dignified, guys.
Yeah, right? He's going to be like, you want your mother to crawl through tunnels?
Yeah, it's crazy.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
Okay, now this is the map, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's what's going on here. Okay. I grew up with guys like this. All right. Let me tell you something. All right. You see, looking at it right now, you can see my mouse. Okay. So this is the passageway here. This is the woman's section for prayer. former men's bath. Okay? These people, sometimes, if you're devout to the religion, you can't be around women. A lot of people get arranged marriages and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. These women cannot be touched. You cannot be touching women. Women cannot be touching men. I think they dug this tunnel to get to those women. And I think the women might have known too. And that's why there's mattresses down there. Why are there mattresses down there in these tunnels?
That's weird.
Right?
Yeah, it's true.
It's like, the Catholic schoolgirl thing. It's like, all right, let's
They just
get
wanna peek.
away. Let's get away. Where else are you going to get away? It's like, well, I got a tunnel. I got a tunnel under the shul. All right, well, let's see this place.
Oh my God. It's possible.
Let me tell you something. If you're 15, if you're a guy that's 15, right, and there's some girl that's 15, or, whatever age, and you're like, I got a place to go. Let's go. Mm-hmm. Away from our parents, away from, it's like make out point.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's their make out point.
That's so funny.
That's what I think. When I see this, I'm like, yeah, you might have been trying to connect everything, but also, there's an opportunity here.
Yeah.
Easily. And you can sneak out as well. Mm-hmm. That's a big thing.
Yeah, with the grates.
You could 100%, like, let's say you're a woman and you need to get out, but you can't go out this way because there's people here and there and all these places. You can just pop out here, passageway. You go down the alley this way. You're good. Done. I'm out. They still think I'm in the building.
Yeah.
Done.
Just in the prayer section.
There's a lot of benefit to that. You have no idea. It's amazing. But I mean, obviously, their story makes sense as well. The fact that it was for a rabbi and to connect it all and blah blah blah. But
yeah,
again, why would you connect it this way? It's such a bad way
weird
to connect it.
Especially like looking at these buildings. Like Joe said, it like you can build on top of a building, no problem.
Yeah.
But then as soon as you start digging under it, people are like, "What's going on?"
Yeah.
It looks like you'd be able to build on top of this.
Well, I mean, you don't even need to build on top of it. If you're thinking about connecting, you need to break down this wall here.
Yeah, like
You
it's
need
all
to break
connected
down
anyway.
That wall there, and then you just need to connect that. You just need to build a little wall across, and you're good.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like
Everything's connected.
overly difficult. Like I feel like a tunnel is way more risky than doing that.
Yeah. Interesting.
But yeah, but notice too. So we're going to talk about it in a minute. But this only goes under their own buildings.
Yeah.
So there's no outside buildings, no where people are living.
Okay, we're about to get into
Down the rabbit hole a bit.
I think what I'm thinking is very possible. It's a big thing. It's a big thing. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Think about it. The Catholic people, I've met religious people, Judaism, Muslim as well. When you just get cut off from the opposite sex, it's an issue.
Yeah.
It's a big issue.
Yeah.
And no one likes it.
Some people start doing
Nobody
funny, desperate things.
Nobody goes, well, that's fine. Until when? Till 25? Okay.
Until they're married.
Yeah, until
Yeah.
I'm married. And then some people don't get to choose.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, God. You're getting set up. Remember that show we were watching? It was on Netflix. I think it was a Jewish matchmaking show.
Yes. That
You
was
know?
so funny.
And some of them were religious, and they like didn't really. It was like, my family knows your family, and that's it. Like,
Yeah.
we're kind of seeing what happens. Mm-hmm. It's like, God, and you can't do anything.
Yeah, it's incredible.
You gotta marry her. That's rough. Mm-hmm. That's rough for guys
It's rough for anybody.
to just jump into a marriage
Yeah.
because you wanted to kiss somebody,
Ugh.
and then all of a sudden, your boy Hanoch comes up to you and says, "Buddy, I got a tunnel." You got a tunnel. Where's your tunnel? It goes through the whole thing. It goes through the whole thing. Tell Hialeah I'll meet her at noon. And that's it. You're in the tunnel, having fun, chilling.
Yeah.
You got something to smoke. You're just chilling.
So that's why you think they're just hanging out on the mattresses.
Yeah.
I mean, it is New York. They probably just like pulled it in off the street and
I don't
sat on
know.
it. 'Cause
I don't
it's
know.
comfier
Well,
than a dirt floor.
It could have been in the place as well. I mean, who knows? But I don't know. Seems like a
Yeah.
spot. I remember when I was young, we had the garage, and everybody came to the garage to chill.
Oh yeah.
And you'd be like, why would you want to chill in a gross garage? We had a couch. It was gross, but everybody was like, I'm here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the spot.
There'd be like 12 people at a time hanging out in the garage. Like when you're young. Actually, I don't know how young these guys were. Didn't it say this gentleman was like 21?
I don't know.
One of the guys that got taken away?
I didn't see
I
it.
think
But it
they
makes
said
sense.
that.
Like if they're there on student visas, that they'd be between kind of 18 and 22.
See, it seems like a really cool thing. But I get it. All the dark conspiracies, I understand completely. You know, people of this faith kind of get a bad rap. Kind of people of every faith.
Yes.
Right? Because, you know, you got one who everybody says they control everything.
Yeah.
Right? And then you got another one that's, they're all terrorists. And then you got another one where their head representative is Ned Flanders. It's like they all kind of get a shitty rap, you know?
Especially the more like kind of visually extreme versions of whatever religion.
Oh, yeah.
So people don't understand and they give them a bad rap.
Oh,
but like
yeah.
I was saying to you before, like anybody who's digging tunnels underneath buildings, people are going to ask questions.
Yeah, that's the
Just
thing,
because it's
right?
weird. It's a
Yeah.
weird thing. It would be in the news regardless.
Yeah, people getting called anti-Semitic for kind of questioning why the tunnels are there in the first place. It's like, I don't know. It's a tunnel.
Yeah,
It's a tunnel.
it's weird that they like dug themselves, like Shawshank. Like
I have a church. If my you know I go to church, right? Right. If my buddy Joel came to me and said, "Hey, I'm digging a tunnel," I'd be like, I'd grab him by his shoulder. I'd be, hold on a second, bro. What do
Why?
you mean you're digging a tunnel?
What you doing?
He'd be like, it's going under and it's going into the next building. I'd be like, hey man, we can just walk over there. What are you talking about, man?
Yeah, why?
He'd be like, I'm digging all sorts. I just need you to come down, grab some dirt with me. I'd be like, bro, I'm not doing this with you. And I'm calling the police. I gotta call the police before it caves in. I'm gonna do it for your own safety. It's under us while we're celebrating and praying. No, we gotta call the police. I'm sorry.
It's true.
Obviously,
Yep.
telling head pastor right away.
Yep.
They're digging tunnels.
So I first heard about this whole thing when I was just on Instagram, and I saw a really funny post about a guy who tweeted about it. And then I sent it to you right away, I think.
Yeah, you did. I'm just reading this last little thing here. This part here. The tunnel was discovered.
Yeah, that didn't really make sense. In December.
Yeah, rabbis in December. It was discovered by rabbis in December who were horrified the young men had burrowed it from Chabad Lubavitch synagogue in Crown Heights. Yeah, you'd be terrified.
Yeah, that's so weird.
You'd be like, you just made me look like the worst person.
Yeah.
You already know what people think of us. And you're doing this? Are you kidding me? Look, and there's all these mattresses and stuff. I'm telling, like, I get it. Like, everybody wants to go to the darkest things. These guys were chilling in there. For sure.
Yeah, they were just hanging out.
You can do whatever you want. Because the thing is, when you look like that, when you're walking around as an Orthodox Jewish person, you stand out so much with your hat and everything. You stand out so much. If you just want to, like, smoke a joint, people are going to be like, whoa, look at that guy smoking a joint.
Yeah,
It's
you'll
not,
end up
it's
online.
not like me. People see me and they're just like, huh.
If they even look at you.
I know where that smell's coming from.
Oh my God.
Check out hoodie and bright hat over there. If it's a Jewish guy, they're like, hold on a second. That guy's terrible. What a horrible man to be doing that. Not devout to his religion at all. It's crazy. But yeah, very interesting. Oh, there's more pictures here?
Yeah, this article had lots of pictures.
Okay, so yeah, these are the guys getting taken away. They have zip ties on them. And this is who they're talking about. Is this not who they're talking about?
Let me see.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Let me tell you something. This gentleman's very important.
Is he?
Of course.
Is he the one on the...
Yeah.
Okay.
Every time we go to visit my mom, because again, I live in an Orthodox neighborhood. Every time we go to visit, there is a huge picture on someone's house. This is not like a billboard or anything. It's on someone's house, and it's been there for decades.
And
This
it's
gentleman is extremely important to them. And if he said something needed to happen, they're just like, that's it.
Well, that's what they're doing.
I have friends who talk about being in his presence like as if they met God. Like, I have one friend who's like, he just looked me in the eye and I knew Like it's a real, like
Wow.
they're really, 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 really connected to this person. Yeah, he's extremely important to the Chabad community. Like just top. There's no one above this person
The
but
top
God.
G.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Incels, they got Andrew Tate, and the Chabad Jewish people, they have this gentleman. So important to the community. Wow, I didn't know he passed away.
1994.
Wow. That's nuts. Okay. So that's starting to make more sense. Yeah, if he said something was going to happen. Who's this black lady in there? Who's that black lady?
Is she a police officer?
Maybe.
It looks like she has like a radio on her shoulder.
Yeah, I think so. She's like, what's wrong with these people?
Who's this black lady
She's
in
like,
there?
She's like, what are they doing right now? All right. Let's get into is Richard Stroker. Is that what we're gonna get into?
Yeah.
Okay, so the guy that Joe Rogan was talking about, the gentleman who said that he heard Yiddish under his floorboard. So
Yeah.
where do we start? I'll just start with that gentleman was lying. I guess we start with.
Yeah. Well, his first tweet. So this is always like,
Hold on. Lying and made it on to Joe Rogan.
yes,
Made this up and got on to Joe Rogan.
like a champion.
Crazy.
That's so crazy.
And when we show you what this guy has done, he has put in work.
Oh, yeah.
It's not even just Joe Rogan. You showed me something on news outlet covered him.
Yep.
People on TikTok.
Yeah.
Everybody just automatically believed this was real.
Yep.
It's incredible.
This is our investigative journalism branch, guys, just so you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Done by me.
We find trolls.
Yeah.
And then I'll tell you how he did this, okay? First,
Yeah.
we're going to tell you about the whole story, and I'll tell you how he actually did this.
Yeah.
Because I know.
So the original like post that I saw was just a screenshot of multiple tweets. Like he was just responding to himself. And the original
This
one.
year, right? Yeah,
Is that
some
it?
Of you, some of you owe me an apology. This, that?
Yes.
Okay.
But it started even before that. I think it was like November 11th was the first original tweet.
Oh, really?
Is the timestamp it said. And it said something like, there are Jews under my floorboards. And everybody was
Yeah. So November 7th.
there. Okay, there we go.
There are Jewish people living under my apartment. I can hear them. It's like they are digging or something. For the record, I live at ground level and we do not have a basement. Okay.
So that's the first tweet.
Smart guy.
Yeah.
Smart guy. And then his second tweet was, I swear I keep hearing Yiddish under the floor in my NY apartment. Again, I live at ground level. We don't have a basement. Mm-hmm. So that is him. Okay. This is the story that everybody is connected to.
Yeah. And then
Okay.
after that, he says, some of you owe me an apology.
Yes.
And that was released right after the story came out.
Yes. So that tweet is actually connected right here. Some of you owe me an apology because he's kind of showing receipts. Then he's saying, I am not crazy. He's making sure everybody knows this is very real. I'm not crazy. And he's showing the receipts. And then, okay, keep going. I'll show it all in time.
Yeah. But we remember where the tunnel was in the map
Yeah.
and how it was under the synagogue's own buildings.
Yeah.
So it doesn't go under any apartment building.
No.
So what he says doesn't make sense from the very beginning.
Unless he lives in the woman's pray section or
Yeah.
the men's former bath section.
Exactly.
Or Chabad headquarters to begin with.
It just doesn't make sense at all.
No.
It's absolutely insane. So I opened up this guy's Twitter because I was trying to find his original tweet to show on this video. And I'm going through his stuff and I was like, what is this? Like, it's all like very kind of inflammatory posts. And I don't know what's going on here. And his, can you pull up his Twitter? Like even just like at the top.
Here, let me just pull him
Perfect.
up. Yes.
So it says Fox News, The Blaze, host of the Richard Stroker Show on Rumble,
Yep.
live Monday to Friday, 9 p.m. Sommelier, carpenter, and research junkie.
Yep.
So he makes himself sound pretty legit. He has some like pictures on there
Yep.
of himself.
That's his picture. This is him. This right here is him in front of cameras,
Yeah.
right? This is his picture here, American flag in the background,
Yeah.
right?
This guy doesn't exist.
Yeah, he's not real.
This is a troll account.
Yep. He's not real.
It's absolutely insane.
It's way past the troll account, because there's so many troll accounts that are great, and you see memes from them, and it's all amazing. This guy is way beyond a troll account. He is completely constructing a person. At least a troll account is just like, oh, I'm Mr. Whatever, and they're just posting random things constantly, commenting on people's stuff. They're just being a troll. This gentleman is trying to make a person.
Yeah.
And he's on Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan just talked about
He's
it.
talking about him on Joe Rogan. And like, even look at this guy's name. So his last name is Stroker. His first name is Richard, which is shortened commonly to Dick.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll just say it like that.
He's smart. This is very smart.
It's
a very smart
insane.
account.
And you can see this account was started in December of 2022 as well. And he has quite a few posts, like down and down and down since then. So people didn't even question it.
Nobody did. And the only thing he has is the Buy Me a Coffee. I also have a Buy Me a Coffee account, right? So he doesn't even have the links, because when you have so many things that you've done, you would have something called a link tree, where you click and you can see everything that the person does, and you can go to their different platforms. This guy says he's a part of The Blaze, part of Fox News, has his own show on Rumble. Now we go to Rumble. Let me just copy and paste his name, right? This is such a trip.
It's so crazy.
Because he's just saying it, and everybody's just like, okay.
Yeah. But it gets even like deeper than that too, that other than him just saying it.
Here,
but we'll go into it.
Let me just search it on Rumble really quick. Doesn't exist. No channel found. It doesn't exist.
Yeah, so it says the Richard Stroker Show is his Rumble, so it would show up immediately.
Yes, exactly.
So then I also found, if you want to open up that other Twitter account, the Stroker Effect. So there's this secondary account that's linked to his original personal one, and you can see joined January 2023.
Dedicated to Richard Stroker, master of politics, writer for the Daily Stroker.
Yeah.
It's so
just
good.
Insane. So this has been up for a year now.
He's so
I
smart.
thought initially, because my brain doesn't work in the new year, that this had just been put up, but January 2023 is a year ago.
He is he's smart.
Yeah.
He's really, really smart.
But if you scroll down on the Stroker Effect one, there's a little bit more
pictures of him, just AI generated.
See, there's this tweet from a guy, Tom AF, and it says, I know Richard personally and did my internship at MSNBC with him. Richard Stroker is real. Delete this post. I guess responding to somebody who was like, this guy's fake.
Yeah. So you can click here and actually see the interaction real quick.
Yeah.
So you know those tweets from Richard, who claimed he was vindicated after the Chabad basement issue was revealed. He was saying he tweeted in the past that he could hear digging in Yiddish. It's BS. Watch this. So this girl actually gives a breakdown, apparently.
Yeah.
So she stumbled onto this.
She's talking about it too.
But guess what? No one cares.
No.
No one cares. No one believes it, and no one cares.
It was absolutely hilarious.
It's so amazing. And then this person jumps on and says, I know Richard personally. Delete this post. It's amazing.
But then that person doesn't have any...
They have nothing.
Nothing.
Because they're fake.
Yeah.
It's Richard.
It's Richard.
He's just doing it.
Yeah.
1,000,000%. You can do this hundreds of times if you'd like.
Yeah. And then even on his...
Have you seen the viral tweets from that guy claiming he heard Jewish people talking and digging below his apartment last fall? Well, he's completely full of shit, and amplifying this man is a really bad idea. Since the story of the tunnel under the Jewish synagogue in Crown Heights broke on Monday, this man Richard has been getting tons of attention for quote tweeting old posts of his where he claims he was hearing Yiddish under the floor of his New York City apartment and people digging beneath him. His posts blew up, and soon Richard was getting cited in news programs and in media all over the internet. Many articles characterized Richard as a Crown Heights resident, but when you start looking into it, there are red flags all over. First of all, in this area of Crown Heights, and I know because I used to live by there, almost all residential buildings are pre-war and they do have basements. Also, almost all the residents in that direct area surrounding the tunnels are Hasidic Jews. There's nothing about Richard's account that indicates he's a Hasidic Jew or that he ever lived in Crown Heights. In fact, he never once posted about Crown Heights before news of the tunnels broke.
That's so crazy.
I love how she's so passionate about this.
She sounds
as
like
well.
upset.
Yeah, she's
which
pissed.
is hilarious.
Hey, this is problematic.
Yeah.
Let me just tell you something right now.
And I feel like maybe some news organizations are starting to figure it out, because the only references to him I could find in the news was from some like Middle Eastern page.
Yeah, you showed me this. They did a whole breakdown of this guy.
Yeah. So the headline on this
Like, this is about
this
him.
article,
Man
exactly.
Claims
Man claims to know about Jewish secret tunnel in 2023.
Wow.
And then it starts, Richard Stroker, an American living in New York City, claimed to know about a Jewish secret tunnel which was discovered under a historic Brooklyn synagogue in 2023.
Wow.
And this article continues to explain his whole thing.
Richard. This guy's a genius.
That's so crazy.
Now, let me just explain something really quick, because you're seeing that there's tweets, right? You're like, what do you mean there's tweets? He obviously tweeted something, right? Mm-hmm. So this is actually what he did. On X, if you're somebody who uses X, you may not know this, but when you use it on the computer, you can make a tweet, and then you can put it for everyone, or you can decide to put it in a group. So you can easily make a group yourself and have nobody in that group, and then post something just to that group, screenshot it, take that, and then put a date that doesn't match the date. You can go and find this anywhere. Like, look at that date. You can just go find a tweet that has that date.
Yeah, that's true.
You can just go to any account and just screenshot that
And
then
cut it,
paste
put it
that
on.
on there.
Yeah.
That's how he did this. He's a genius.
That's so smart.
To do it that fast, to see this, do it that fast.
To have that thought and
Yeah.
like think about
Be
that
like,
joke.
I'm going to do this right now. Boom.
Yeah.
Because he did it within hours of this happening.
Yeah. That's why it came out first. That's why everybody was talking about him.
Yeah.
That's why I saw it before I even saw the news article.
He's so smart.
It was so crazy.
He's
And
so
then on his
smart.
account too, he like posted the link to the Joe Rogan episode and was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
thanks for sharing my story.
Oh, yeah. He's like, he knows.
He's
big
into
time
it.
now. Of course. Look, he's like, thank you. Thank you at Joe Rogan for telling my story. They called me crazy. They called me names, but in the end, I was right.
Hashtag believe Stroker. I'm going to click on that hashtag.
He's so good.
Oh my gosh.
He's so smart. And then here's another interaction that he had, where you could see, because we were like, does nobody realize that this guy's fake? But a lot of people do. We just saw that one girl. He was like, who's smarter, me or Nick Fuentes? And then from here, somebody's like, do you make content? He's like, yes, I stream Monday to Friday on Rumble. They're like, what's the at? He's like, Richard Stroker. They go and check it, just like I showed you guys. Nothing pops up. Somebody's like, Jays are messing with your internet. He says, does it come up for you? And then Richard jumps in, says it comes up for everyone. You're a troll. He's like, no, I'm not, dude. I mean, I am a troll, but it's really not coming up. And this guy's like, I'm a huge stroker. I watch Monday to Friday religiously and misspells religiously, like amazingly. All of these are Richard. Any account that comes up and says, I know Richard, 100%. Now they're going to become real because there's going to be people that want to like stoke this lore. But he's like, post a screenshot on Rumble, please. And then instead, somebody just shows this. They're like, take a look at that. That's how you know it was Richard. That they actually took the time to make this and show him this, right? And then the person just goes, none of this is real. This is like 1984 stuff. Like this guy's like Winston Smith, and he's like, hold on a second. I don't think this is real. And then somebody shows another thing, and he goes, reptilians, the final red pill exposing reptilian elite, world domination, Rumble exclusive. And it's Richard Stroker again. And he just says, it's real. And then again, this person just goes, fake news. It's amazing.
That's incredible.
Such an amazing interaction there. But yeah, it's just smart guy.
Yeah.
Smart guy to do all this. He ended up on Joe Rogan.
I really hope this comes out more.
I hope
like
Joe,
I want to know. I hope Joe realizes too.
He's
like somebody
that guy
has
was
to
fake.
tell him. Yeah, that's so funny.
It'll probably be the next episode, honestly.
You think so?
Well, I mean, if he keeps looking into it, I mean, eventually someone's gonna message Joe and be like, "Hey, you know that guy you were just talking about on your show?
Yeah,
he's not real."
Yeah, that's so crazy.
And then maybe even Joe, because he tagged Joe. Maybe even Joe will like click on this guy's account and be like, "Huh."
Yeah.
Because Joe, like us, has been really thinking about who he interacts with and if they're real or not. Mm-hmm. So he might look at this and be like, oh, this is fake. Although this one is very convincing because you look at him and you see he has 9,600 followers. He has this brilliantly written bio, right? And then he also has an actual link that you can go to support him.
Yeah.
So when you look at all this, you're like, okay, this guy's real. He
Yeah.
has to be real. So it's just interesting. So interesting that happened.
And then we were talking about the guy on TikTok who was telling the story of Richard Stroker as well.
Which guy? Oh, I gotta see if I can find him. This
Yeah,
guy.
that one.
Okay, I found it.
Yeah, so this guy's video on TikTok, this creator has like, I think 9,600 followers on TikTok. So not like a crazy amount. But this video has amassed more than 11 million views. And he's just talking about
Yeah, he basically just
the series of
goes into
tweets. He
what-
just explains it.
Yeah.
To the side of a famous synagogue in Brooklyn. And look at this tweet my roommate sent me. The first tweet was back in November. He said, "There are Jews living under my apartment. I hear them. It's like they are digging or something. For the record, I live at ground level and we do not have a basement." And then once the Jewish guys got arrested yesterday, he quoted it and said, "I am not crazy." And then there was this other tweet from December of last year. "I swear I keep hearing Yiddish under the floor in my New York apartment. I live at ground level and we have no basement." And then again, yesterday when these guys get arrested, he quoted and said, "Some of you owe me an apology." Imagine trying to tell that to anybody 2 months ago. There are Jews.
So yeah, like all sorts of social media people, they're all posting about it, everything.
Yeah.
It's very, very interesting. So,
Yeah.
and now if we go back to this again, you might ask, he actually kept up with the story so well because somebody was asking him, why can't I find the original post? He said, for the record, I had to delete the original post months ago because people were calling me schizophrenic and anti-Semitic. Apologize, community notes. Like, he's just so on it. He knows exactly what to do.
It's incredible.
And then when somebody actually questions him about it, I went too far down. When somebody actually questions him about it, he's like, "Did you take the screenshot? How did you take the screenshot?" So I did it before I deleted them, so I would have a record. Richard.
It's the best.
So the story is very true, but Richard is not. Richard is not a real person.
Yeah.
Well, he is a real person. Actually, you know what? Even that's questionable because this could be AI.
It could be.
Somebody could.
I
just
don't
have
think
an
it is,
AI.
though. It's too smart.
It's true, but you never know. Maybe AI got to this point.
Oh, God.
Maybe AI is like, let
Then
me
we need to be
see
concerned.
if I can fool people.
Well, it already has before, so.
Yeah. It's like, let me see if I can fool millions of people. And then he fooled Joe Rogan.
Yeah. And Joe Rogan spread it everywhere.
Yeah. That's the amazing part. I
It's
love
like, come
it.
on, Jamie.
Yeah, right? Jamie should have been able to find, like, hey, this is not a fake.
Yes.
This is not a real thing. Like, Jamie should have been on that. But, you know, whatever.
Can't be on top of everything.
Yeah, he's doing
And you
like
never
9
know it.
things at once.
And Joe talks about 55 million different topics each episode.
Yeah, right? And then he wants Jamie to, like, pull them all up at the same time.
Yeah. Can't put it all on Jamie.
Oh, man.
But yeah,
All right.
that was
Anything
a
else?
good laugh today.
Anything else?
No.
Yeah, that's it. Just like, subscribe, share, and look up Richard. Look up Richard. You know what? He may be fake, okay, but he's a genius. So I definitely, I would give him a follow. Why not? Why not? See what else he does. He's gonna do something else. It's gonna be amazing for sure. This isn't the last time. He's gonna keep doing this until Tucker Carlson starts acknowledging him and this and that. You know what I mean? It's gonna. I think it's gonna get a little crazy. Anyways, guys, like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. And other than that, we are out.
Bye.